back.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Party Chat. As always, I am Obey the Fist.
And I'm Patrox. Yo, we had a week off.
Yes, we did.
It was a bad week to take off.
I mean,
We completely forgot that Gamescom exists.
well, I think that was less about it. Yeah, okay. No, I can't back this up. That was a bad, unfortunate timing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gamescom did happen. I know some other cool stuff happened, but none of those things are Destiny, so it's hard to.
Yeah, basically that was it. Like, that was all we needed. And we now have our episode topics for the day. Before we get to all that, though, a couple cool things did go on. Adult Swim put out I think it was like 30 seconds of a live-action Rick and Morty trailer, starring
Christopher Lloyd,
Yeah.
Doc Brown himself, the character upon whom Rick is based.
Apparently, they asked Michael J. Fox to come be Morty, and he was like, no.
Man,
I was going to make a really bad taste
same,
joke.
dude, same. You know what? Good on us for taking the high ground.
High five.
We get to, we were confronted with temptation and we persevered and we didn't decide to be horrible
Ableist.
people. But yeah, that's pretty exciting. But the thing is, like, with it being Adult Swim, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised to find out that this was just a gigantic troll. They were just like, hey, Christopher Lloyd, do you want to get paid $50,000 for 30 seconds of your time?
Apparently, it's supposed to be a skit for an anthology-style, like, interdimensional cable episode about, like, all the different realities that Rick lives in.
That tracks with Rick deciding when they've gone too meta. Although, like, to be fair, that's not like Family Guy did that joke. Gumball did that joke, but none of them did it with Christopher Lloyd. So,
Oh, the live action thing.
yeah.
Haven't The Simpsons also done that? Oh, no, they did CGI.
I mean, dude, there's so much. I have definitely not seen all of it, so it would be ill-informed for me to say that they've never done it.
Once too.
Yep. That was
Several
the
times.
ziplining one, right?
That one, and there's also the VR one, where they're like 12 VR glitches deep of being trapped in someone is trapped in an Oculus Rift. When they finally get the helmet off, they're all live action.
Was that
The graphics kind of suck.
He's
Yeah.
stuck in the headset?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
That one. Fuck you.
Yeah, the other really cool thing that we haven't gotten to talk about on the show yet is the live-action Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop did it.
Cowboy Bebop has now done this bit as well.
Okay. So I think Spike looks great. I think Faye looks great. I can't not picture John Cho as anybody but a burnout stoner looking for some White Castle.
Yeah, dude, it's really crazy to see, like, because I know him as Harold and as Sulu, and decidedly both of those people are different than Spike Spiegel.
Oh my.
Well, that's George Takei.
Yeah. But
Which actually closer to Spike Spiegel than John Cho. But so, like, I think that I'm very pleased with the visual that they've presented us so far, with everything that they've shown us from the promotional pictures. I think everybody looks great. If I'm really, really looking for things to be upset about, I feel like Jet should be older, but that's far from a deal breaker.
I mean, I saw people on the internet mad that Jet is being portrayed by a person of color.
But he is.
He
black.
is. He is. Did you watch it?
I mean,
whatever. Haters gonna hate. But the only other thing that I could really like. I have concerns about Mr. Cho being able, because the most iconic thing about Spike to anybody who watched Cowboy Bebop on Adult Swim back at the turn of the millennium is it's not the hair, it's not the suit, it's not the bent cigarette, it's Steve Bloom's voice.
Steve Bloom's voice, and also just the attitude. Spike Spiegel carries himself with that, I am 110% confident in everything that I'm not gonna do right now because I don't want to.
Yeah,
but if you make me have to do it, I'm gonna be mad about it.
Yeah, I think, and you know, one of the things that I talk about a lot on the show is, you know, understanding that this is like, prepare yourself for a reinterpretation. If you're excited about the Cowboy Bebop live action, don't pigeonhole yourself. Don't mug yourself into thinking that this is going to be a 1-for-1 copy, because that simply doesn't work.
No.
There's no animation to live action media, to my knowledge,
Conversion
that
rate
has ever been a 1-to-1 conversion. That's, quite frankly, unrealistic.
So I think my biggest thing, honestly, my biggest complaint is that I want to know who's playing Ein. And I hope it's the same dog that plays Cheddar in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, well, I mean, in film, it tends to be like a whole mess of appropriately similar corgis that are trained to do different things.
Cheddar is one corgi, though, and all the things he's done on that show. It's always...
But to be fair, Cheddar's list of accomplishments is not quite...
When was the last time you watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine? There are entire episodes dedicated to that dog now.
Well, episodes dedicated... Ein does things is the...
Cheddar just sabotaged a wedding.
Did he?
Yes.
Okay.
See?
Okay, I stand corrected. Yeah, Cheddar for Ein.
Cheddar for
Ein
Ein.
2021.
Yeah, we didn't see anything about Ein or Ed, which I know some people have speculated may lead to there just not being
writing
an Ein
out
and
the
Ed.
character.
I feel like Ed's character may be extra hard to emulate without using a literal child.
Without A, using a literal child, and B, like, Ed was one of the more absurd things about Cowboy Bebop. You know, because it's a show, like, it's space bounty hunters. And then you have this child who uses their toes to grip into the ceiling and type upside down on a keyboard. Like, it's very strange, and one of those things that I don't think would translate to the live action format very well.
Hear me out. Rewrite Ed's character. Fully commit to the idea, because like in the anime, we don't know it. We really don't know if Ed's a boy or a girl. They think
Ed's a girl.
Right?
Ed's a girl.
I feel like that's a reasonable assumption to make, but I don't think it's ever explicitly mentioned.
Yeah, Ed's non-binary.
Non-binary, I think.
But I absolutely... So, hear me out. I feel like in the live action, you cast a woman, a young woman, to play Ed.
I'm sorry, Ed is most definitely a 13-year-old teenage girl.
You give her, like, the Barbara Gordon role.
Okay. We're entering a territory that we're not. Hey, we are entering a territory that this is not the platform for. So Ed's non-binary. We're gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, I agree.
And
anyway, more of a Barbara Gordon Oracle role.
Just like at the computer, running intel, things like that. Like, that's fine. I also feel like, considering the time, the timestamp of Ed's introduction into the show, there's plenty to do with Spike, Faye, and Jet without necessarily needing to go into that. Because I also, one of the things that I don't really want them to do is I don't necessarily want to see the stuff that I already saw in the show.
I feel like establishing some
A couple of-
recall nostalgia.
A couple of nods, Easter eggs, fantastic.
I would
I'm
be
into
cool
that.
if Faye's introduction is the same, where, like, wasn't it the casino they were at?
Yeah.
Which was like 3 or 4 episodes into the show already. And if they don't make a bell peppers and beef joke, I'll be real upset.
There's, yeah, I referencing the show, I think would be perfectly reasonable. But in terms of like what we're actually doing in the story, I would like that to be something that hasn't been done before. And that's not expressly hard. I mean, it's space bounty hunters. There's a ton of design space there for cool stuff to do.
Do we keep Spike's story with what's his face? Do you keep that narrative?
I would say yes. But that's I think the move there might even be to rip a page right out of the MCU's playbook and have it not mentioned at all, and then like after the credits, just a dude in a black coat with white hair in front of a shop on some moon. And
That's how you end the first season.
yeah.
All right, yeah, I could be about it. So, I'm excited, but I'm trying to steel myself as to not generate too much hype. You guys know how
Gotta
we feel.
stop hurting ourselves.
You guys know how we feel about being too hype. A couple other things from Gamescom that look pretty cool. Saints Row reboot. Big one.
Yeah, okay. I was you showed me that actually. And I didn't even know what it was when we started watching it. It was just if you haven't seen the trailer, go ahead. It's definitely worth the watch. But it's just this weird cyberpunky looking area of town, and there's a deal going on with weapons, and by the end of it, I was like, dude, if this is multiplayer Saints Row, I'm gonna shit myself. And then like 4 seconds after I said that, it was like Saints Row. Because I've enjoyed Saints Row in the past. I tend to enjoy it a little bit more than other sandboxy games because it's silly. And I think that was it the 4th one where you were in a simulation designed by aliens?
I don't remember. At one point, I made the decision to not play Saints Row games and play GTA. Like, I kind of feel like that was one of those choices you had to make. Maybe like not to be super loyal, but you were kind of like, I
have X amount of hours in the day.
Right. That's it. New Lego Star Wars. The entire Skywalker saga, as they're calling it.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, completely redone. It's not just the old ones tossed back into a thing. It's completely rebuilt from the ground up, entirely voice acted. I thought some of the little gags were super cute.
Yeah, I mean, if you grew up playing the Lego Star Wars games, this is going to be, I think, a really great sweet spot in between hitting that nostalgia and giving you a fresh new experience, because it's kind of like how when you remember that game you played back in 1996, right? And you're like, oh man, I missed that game so much. Let me go back. And then you go back and you're like, oh right, this is what things looked like in 1996. This doesn't add up with my memory at all because my child imagination made it seem so much better. This is going to be a pretty good transposition from your memory to seeing it again.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna buy it. I'll play through it with probably you, the kids.
I'll hop in for a few games for sure.
Yeah, gonna be a lot of fun. Sony out here making some questionable business decisions. Did you read today about the upgrade path, as they're calling it?
What I read was the next console contains a downgrade.
I am not aware of what you're speaking of right now.
Well, the thing is, like, these articles tend to have very clickbaity titles, so, and unfortunately, when I'm at work, I don't have the opportunity to click them because driving and reading an article on your phone is a bad idea. That will absolutely get me fired. But yeah, what's the
So the upgrade path is if you currently own a PS4 and you purchase a game that is a Sony title, like Horizon Zero Dawn, Gran Turismo 7, things like that. In order to get the PS5 version, whenever you switch, despite putting them both out on the platform, $10. They are charging, they call it the upgrade bundle, and you will pay an extra $10 in order to upgrade from the PS4 version to the PS5 version.
All right, I see two sides to this. I think so. This is one of those things where the cool thing to do would have been to, especially with it being a Sony title, like if Sony was the producer behind it, just to make the upgrade free, like we've gotten with, I feel like a couple of games now.
Most games.
Yeah. But I mean, if moving forward, if the money's not being made, the $10 difference upgrade is better than what they could do, which is you just have to buy the PlayStation 5 one. So, yeah, this is a real sincere Richard relocation, but they absolutely could have done it way worse.
Hear me out. So you buy the PS4 version. You get a PS5. You don't pay for the upgrade path. You could play the PS4 version on your PS5 just fine. You are literally paying $10 to use the features of a console that you just bought. It's garbage.
I mean, well, also I feel like it would be garbage if you couldn't play the PlayStation 4 version on the PlayStation 5. Like, that would be really mean. But, yeah, I mean, this is a real, water bottle at the airport situation. Like, you know that this is fucked up, and you're doing it anyway. And if I really need a water bottle, unfortunately, I have to do this thing.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, luckily, we already have PS5s. So it doesn't apply to us much. I feel like we might be angrier about it if we didn't have PS5s yet.
I mean, no question, it's underhanded and shitty. But, I mean, one of the things that we've talked about on the show is that at the end of the day, people have to get paid. I mean, I don't think this is like how we found out that the people who do voice acting for video games and cartoons and stuff, that's not what pays the bills.
Yeah. No, I agree with Darth here. If you're getting a PS5 and you want to experience it, if you own a PS4 and you don't own a PS5 yet, probably don't buy the new Horizon Zero Dawn until you have a PS5.
I mean,
or prepare to spend that $10. By the way, I absolutely am buying the new Horizon Zero Dawn, hands down, no questions asked.
It do look really good. It makes me want to actually go and play the original, which I never got around to doing.
Really?
Dude, there's a ton of games in the backlog, man. I just played Red Dead Online for the first time a month ago.
That didn't last very long for us either. You had that one really bad day.
I took a career-ending injury. It wasn't even anything especially bad happened. I've gotten handled in other games and in Red Dead, for that matter, way worse than that night. But it was in no mood. Very rarely do I get salty enough in a video game to actually just go to bed.
I don't think I've ever seen you rage quit. Ever.
I mean, I've gone, I'm not doing this anymore, and then gone to do something else. But that was
that was Gambit 2 nights ago. I don't want to do this.
I don't want to do this anymore. Well, dude, I lost 35 motes, and then the only thing of any worth that I did was the invader came in, killed everybody, and then I killed the invader. So, like, it was like when you were playing League of Legends and some fucking Jarvan would jump on you to get the guy who was about to kill you, trapping you with him, and he's like, I'm helping! Like, guys, don't worry, I got him. Cool. He already did what he came here to do, man.
Fucking.
When the Avengers were like, ha, we saved the city. Meanwhile, there's 1.5 billion damage in property right behind them.
That was the most back-ass words sentence you have ever spoken. Oh, boy.
Well, definitely not that I've ever spoken, but certainly today.
Oh. No, and, well, speaking of Gamescom and also speaking of Destiny.
Guys, if you're not playing Destiny, why not? I don't understand. It's...
So, Tom and I now have this running joke about Destiny being, like, the really good for you girlfriend that you just keep putting in the friend zone.
It's like, if the friend zone were a real place, this is what it would look like. Because Destiny is just there like, hey, guys, I'm here to, provide you with the gaming experience that you want. I keep on listening, and I do the thing. Like, I listen to you, I communicate, and, like, hey, I hear you. We're going to get that going. Like, every time a new season comes out, they do another thing that I've wanted forever. And
instead, you're just like, no, I'm going to go get hurt by this game.
Yeah,
Thanks.
no, I'm going to go let this pile of red flags ruin me for the 6th or 7th time. Like, Beyond Light came out, and Beyond Light added the Stasis subclass, which I was having so much fun with, and then I stopped playing Destiny to go play World of Warcraft.
We really did.
That's like, it was like I had somebody who was like, texting me throughout the day, making sure I was drinking enough water, gently reminding me that, I had a doctor's appointment coming up, and I was like, nah, I'm going to go spend a weekend over here with this person who's going to keep me in a trap house until 7 in the fucking morning before I have to go to work. That's what I'm going to do with my time. And but Destiny's always there. Just like, okay, go ahead, sow your wild oats. I'll be here when you come back. I'll keep a pot of coffee on, and as soon as if you call me on the way, I'll make some soup.
Yeah, I remember not too long ago, we had a conversation where we were like, you know what Destiny needs? More melee weapons.
Yeah. And with the advent of the Witch Queen come Tuesday, that's not this Tuesday, that's actually the holiday that will henceforth be known as Tuesday. February 22nd, 2022, on a Tuesday. If you haven't seen the meme. But yeah, they were adding a glaive weapon, like it's a spear, and you slash people and you stab them, and it's got a short-ranged energy blast, and it looks so cool.
And you know what else we've also talked about needing in Destiny? Weapon crafting. Hey Tom, how do you get your first glaive?
You gotta craft it. You gotta go find the parts, and this is how they open up the game into actually the weapon crafting system. They talked about this at their Gamescom appearance, and one of the experiences that's core in Destiny is chasing those weapons, getting those god rolls, and now we have a way to like. They started doing it already with the focusing of the Umbral engrams, where you can go, okay, I want this one, which is either going to give me the hand cannon or the bow, and like they're keeping the RNG factor without making you go and do stuff over and over and over and over and over again, so you can just get the stuff you like and then go do the stuff you like with the stuff you want to do it with. They're really firing on all cylinders, man. I can't, which is such a wonderful thing in this landscape of companies that are just dicking us over left, right, and center. CD Projekt Red fucked up Cyberpunk so bad that they were like, just kidding, we're going to make another Witcher game. Like,
fuck.
Because they were like, nah, Witcher's done. We're going to do Cyberpunk now. And then they did Cyberpunk, and they were like, oh, geez, no, we need another Witcher immediately. This cannot be what people remember about us. You know, like scandals and shitty business decisions left and right. And then we've got Bungie over here just doing the thing that they do, and they're doing it well.
All right.
They're listening to their community.
I have one thing that I need from Destiny. Okay, hear me out. And
We can say it.
I say this in front of you and Sack and all of everybody watching us and everybody that might ever watch us. How dare you?
So while I understand where that's coming from, I love Peter Dinklage as an actor. Peter Dinklage's performance as your Ghost was ass. That dude is capable of so much better. But to be fair, I don't think it was his fault. I think Peter Dinklage read that god-awful script and, like, as an artist, could not convince himself to, like, read these lines with any kind of actual inflection. Like, when you go to fight, I think it's when you meet Crota for the first time, and you find that sword, and your Ghost is like, be careful, its power is dark. Like, that doesn't even mean anything. You just said words that all individually mean something and hope that that was going to convey what you meant, and that's not... Like, I feel like he could have... If they had kept him on with the better writing that they have now, for sure, that would have been amazing. But,
All right, but hear me out. I say this in front of you and Sack and all of our viewers and everybody that might watch us ever. I want to be able to use my finishers in the Crucible. Fuck you for taking that away from me. Here's how you do it. Just like Halo. If your melee is going to kill and you hold the button down, it executes the finisher and you're vulnerable when it's happening.
I feel like what's going to wind up happening there is you're going to finish, like, 2 people, and both times somebody's going to, like, wind up right behind you with, like, a Fellwinter's Lie, and as soon as you're done with your finisher, they're just going to blast you at the back of your neck. And then... And then every time you, like, finisher, like, yeah, you could use it, but every time you use your finisher, somebody's like, oh, there we go, there's a free kill. I feel like that's probably the way that's going to wind up going.
That's good. I don't care. Give me my finishers.
So
let me finish people. Yes.
I mean...
Stop lying to me like you don't want it.
Dude, I'm not going to do it because I don't like taking Fellwinter's Lie to the back of my neck. I've had that happen without using a finisher, and it's terrible. I cannot imagine how much worse it's going to feel when I offered the back of my neck on a silver platter to the fucking Trials tryhard with a Fellwinter's Lie. I don't want to do that.
First of all, it's not like finishers last that long, dude. It's literally boom, pop, and my finisher's done.
It doesn't last that long in PvE. 4 seconds in a strike is way different than 4 seconds.
It's not 4 seconds. Quit playing me. It's not even 1.
I focus on the thing that we're talking about, not because if you see somebody and they go, "Oh, finisher," that gives you plenty of time to line up that shot. And if you think otherwise, you are lying to yourself and to me, and I'm upset about it.
Okay, you ready? Cancel finisher, just like you do in Halo.
Okay, or just don't do it. Do other things.
But it works. We've seen it work. It's enjoyable, and Bungie knows how to do it. We watched them do it.
Okay, well, give it some time because you know what? They just gave you the thing that you were wanting forever, being able to put a shader on all of your armor at the same time. So, like,
they finally gave me that too.
Yeah, this is a real if you give a mouse a cookie situation right now. We've gotten the cookie, now we want the glass of milk, then we're going to want the napkin, then we're going to... Very good. Very good. Well done.
It explains a lot.
All right. That notwithstanding, Destiny listens.
Are you
Bungie
okay?
Listens.
Are you okay?
I'm gonna die, but I think I'll be okay.
We're all gonna die.
Yeah. Case in point, Bungie listens. It seemed like they didn't for a while, back when they were under the cruel yoke of Activision.
Are we still thinking that was intentional?
Dude, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Bungie was like, they had Destiny, and they were like, okay, we know the game we want to make, but that's going to take a lot of capital, and that's not something we have. So we're going to have to get in bed with somebody and, like, do what they want and keep our project afloat long enough to get the following that we need. And, the Activision showed up and was like, hey, you guys want? And they were like, yeah, fine. Yeah, we'll totally keep Crucible to 4 people. That seems like a great idea. Yeah, no, this game is definitely going to be esports. No, we don't really need any real narrative in the campaign. Like, we can... Yeah, fine. Yeah, we're good. And... All right. Okay, we need to pull out now. Because if we keep making these asinine old white man non-gamer decisions for this game, it is going to die. But then they did. They broke away. And now we have things that we've been asking for forever, things that we didn't even know we wanted. It's such a rags to riches story, man, because we talk about the Cyberpunks and the No Man's Skies and the Anthems and all these games that when they came out, we were all like, hey, what the actual hell, guys?
Hear me out. Also, hear me out. There's one thing I do want. We're not going to get it for a while. We are going to get it eventually, I think. And I know how it has to happen. Are you ready to hear it? I want Destiny 3. I think we're getting close. We've pushed 2 as far as it can go. I know we've got Witch Queen, the next one, and then Lightfall.
I believe it's Witch Queen, Lightfall, and then the Final Shape.
That's it. Yeah, the Final Shape.
Which is going to tie up the current story arc, which is the light and dark.
Right. I think now you can't do it at the end of one. You actually are going to need to do it at the beginning of the next. But we leave Destiny 2. All the events that have happened, all happened. We start Destiny 3, and your Guardian needs to die. Your Ghost needs to be killed. You need to die. Maybe with some sort of mass extinction of Guardians. And then you start a new Guardian a couple 100 years later.
I mean,
because in a world where your character is immortal, how do you start a new game? How do you get a new Ghost? You don't. And unless we just want to continue with another catastrophic event happened that cleared out your entire inventory. Kill them off. That gives us a new Ghost. It gives us the opportunity for, more Ghosts.
That, I think, is a really cool...
Because, everybody has the same Ghost right now.
Yeah.
You get a different shell, but it's the same Ghost.
Yeah, you can put different shells on it, but everybody's Ghost is Nolan North. And, obviously that's not canonical. Because Sagira is different than Porkchop or whatever they said the crow's ghost's name was.
I think it's Porkchop or Pork Rind or something.
Yeah, the really cool, in action... Well done. Very good.
Boo.
Very good, Darth. In the fiction of Destiny, which I think I may have even said this on the show before, but I love that the game itself embraces the fact that as Guardians, we are a bunch of absolute memeing dipshits that some weird little fragment of a space god was like, I like this one, and then gave us immortality. And then we're like, hey, take these guns and go fight humanity. We were like, yeah, sure, why not? I can't die. This sounds great.
Including days when we got so bored, we were like, hey, what if we just got in an arena and shot at each other?
Wait, we can't die. What if we had competitive shootouts? For fun and profit. And Like, dude, within the fiction of Destiny, right? My guardian has been chilling in his apartment in the tower since the beginning of Beyond Light. He went out, got the stasis power, and was like, okay, yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm going to go play World of Warcraft. And then sat in his apartment not doing anything. And then they were like, hey, man, we need you to... Zavala was like, Guardian, we need you to come back. And he was like, dude, I don't get out of bed for anything less than a new weapon type. And he was like, in a year, you'll be able to... In 6 months, you'll be able to make a glaive. And he was like, say less, fam! And got up, and now I'm back in Destiny, doing the work, fighting the enemies of humanity across the solar system. Like, that's canon. That's what's happening. And...
Destiny 2 accepts all headcanons.
Yeah, with that being the case, like, there's, like, your ghost, while it is voiced by Nolan North, in my head, nah, my ghost is actually, his name is Dim, and he's not very bright. See what I did there? He's like, it's the same voice I give to my left hand. Like, I tell my left hand to do something, and it cocks it up completely, and I'm like, damn it, Lefty, this is why you don't get reps. And Lefty's like, oh, sorry, boss. Like, that's what my ghost says. Like, my ghost is like, careful, boss, there's an ogre. And I'm like, yeah, I know. He just vaporized me. Please.
Where did he go, George?
Like,
We've also
hey,
had the
boss, do crabs think fish are flying? Dim, I'm in the middle of a firefight. Can this please wait till later?
First of all.
Could you imagine if your ghost was voiced by Gilbert Gottfried? Eyes up, Guardian!
Oh,
Like, that definitely exists somewhere out there.
I don't even know if I could do a Gilbert Gottfried voice. I don't. And now I can't stop laughing. You fucked this up for me. Thanks a bunch. No, that's why I think somebody out there needs to write the module for because I know Destiny kind of has like an unofficial tabletop game, but I've also seen the Destiny 5e module, and I think the campaign needs to be run in teams of 2, where every player is a guardian, but every guardian has a ghost, and the ghost is a player.
I think the easy way to do that is you have, like, if you've got a party of 4 people, everybody has their guardian, and then the person to your right plays your ghost.
No, because that's confusing. You just have to find people that are willing to be the ghost.
Because
there's a lot that the ghost could do.
Yeah, okay. But like that because you have to be, as the DM of that table, you have to make very certain that you are giving the ghosts stuff to do besides talk. Because one of the things that they can't do is fight.
Yeah. I mean, you could always make it like homebrew canon that the ghosts can have like some form of robotic body they take over.
Yeah, every ghost now is an exo. Oh,
Sure, why
jeez,
not?
no, Dim can't have a whole body. That's gonna go so poorly for me. Boss, I tried to make you breakfast and I burned the house down.
The 5e D&D Destiny is just PvP with no storyline. You make a storyline. You write a storyline. Let's go. No. Yeah, like it's one of those games now where my list of complaints is so short.
Everything that I've had a problem with, they've fixed or at least mitigated somehow.
You're looking at all the wrong places, man. Like, yo, we got D&D campaigns up here at home where we have to tell people, no, sorry, the table's full. Quite frequently. Especially me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's... Of course you don't. But, yeah, the problems that Destiny 2 has had.
Sorry. ADHD train. You know, we now get to tell people that we boys with a published writer.
That's true. That's true.
Who?
Darth Decisive.
Hey!
He just had a whole thing published in a gaming magazine.
Dude, congratulations. That's amazing.
It's good. It's yeah.
Full
This
table
is,
for my group. We end up with 3 players and a DM consistently. I mean, how many more players you want? What nights you play? I'm always down to play. I never get to play. I'm always the DM. Speaking of, we have D&D tonight too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this
Back
is the gauntlet. This is day 3 in a row of playing D&D for me. I don't think this has ever happened.
That's right. You played Starfinder Friday.
Starfinder Friday, Warcraft yesterday, and not
Sword Art Online
tonight. Yeah, that's like
10 p.m. to 4 a.m.
that's no way.
Or like 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. DM me.
Yeah. Destiny's had a fantastic journey, I think, because I mean, I've been playing on and off since beta, like when the original Destiny 1 beta came out and you could play to level 8. And I played all 3 characters to level 8 and like I couldn't wait to get my hands on this game. And then we got it and we played it and it was amazing. And then you got to endgame and you were like, oh, that was it, huh? Okay. Well, that was fun.
So hear me out. Hear me out. Destiny 1, is the reason I got an Xbox One before I got a PS4. Because I had a 360, started playing Destiny, was like, yo, this is great. And now I was playing something where I had a reason to want to upgrade. And I was like, all right, well, I guess since, I can only upgrade in one direction here, I'm going to go this way. And I did. And I also then got to endgame and went, what?
Yeah,
What? What do I do?
It was, oh, well, okay, cool. That was
Oh,
fun.
I have to run circles on Mars for how long? I need how many of these things? Fuck.
Yeah, the grind used to be bad, and then, like, everybody kind of, it just sort of, like, fell away. We were like, okay, so Destiny's great if there was stuff to do, and then we all went other places. But then they did the Taken King. They did the Taken King, and that was, out of all of the expansions I have played to video games across time, the Taken King stands out because it took the game that was kind of fun and didn't really have a whole lot going on and made it one of the coolest things I had ever done. Especially getting the Solar Titan for the first time. Getting to whip those hammers made out of the sun at people's faces was everything that I wanted it to be and more. And then...
Man, what was before Solar Titans? Was it just Ark and Void?
Yeah, it was just Ark and Void. Titans had Ark and Void. Warlocks had Void and Solar. And Hunters had
Ark and Solar?
Solar and Ark. Yeah. We each only had 2.
Oh, man, I don't remember that.
Yeah, because it was only a year. It was exactly a year that we had that. And then, Taken King happened. And, we fought Oryx, and we got Oryx's ship, and there was cool stuff to do again.
Sword.
Bonkers! Yeah, and then,
Nick Citype subscribed at tier 1. Thanks, bud. Good to see you. Thanks for having you on. Thanks for having us on. That one.
Thanks for joining us, indeed. Yeah, and then, because after Taken King, we didn't get anything until Rise of Iron, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
then
didn't play Rise of Iron.
Rise of Iron was a lot of fun because they had, that was where they gave us axes. Not like as an actual weapon, but like one that you could go and pick up, like the original sword from D1.
Yeah. I remember.
And that gave us the really cool Siva event, and...
But then, like, shortly after Rise of Iron was Destiny 2.
Yes.
Like I there was a really short expansion because they were just like Destiny 2,
I mean, it was a year.
Destiny 2.
But yeah, then Destiny 2 came out, and that was another one where, Destiny 2 came out, and then it was really great. You did the raid a few times, and then that was it. After you did the raid so often, we'll feature it and tell people. Like,
Heck yeah, dude.
yeah, absolutely. We'll
have Sack Daniels reach out to you.
Yeah, we love doing that shit.
Yeah, I played Destiny 2 super big when it first came out. We were raiding Leviathan 2 nights a week, and then I remember Prestige came out. We literally did the Prestige the first night, and then I'm pretty sure we all looked at each other and went, what do we do now?
Yeah.
I'm going to go play World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I'm gonna go do something else. But then they did Forsaken. And in Forsaken, that was where we got the third subclasses. That's where we got Burning Maul and Code of the Missile and sorry, every time I think about getting shot with a Night Stalker super, I have a migraine for about 3 seconds. But yeah, they came back. They did that. We got the Tangled Shore as a new zone. The Tangled Shore was really cool. We got the Scorn as a new enemy type. We hadn't had a new one before. We kind of did with the Fallen that had been taken over by Siva, but it was still really just Fallen.
Taken.
Oh yeah, the Taken. I mean,
That was D1.
but yeah, we got the Scorn, and we got a huge chunk of like really important narrative because Cade 6 died.
And then they made his killer a guardian, and then they want us to work with him and feel bad for him. Fuck the crow.
And dude, who you were before you became a guardian doesn't matter.
Fuck the crow. I should kill pork chop,
Pork chop, pork rind.
something. Murder him. And then don't even kill the crow. Just let him be a lightless. Goodbye. Have fun.
That's
You killed
dude,
Funny Man.
Now that we've
You
even
killed
talked
the
about,
only comic relief we had.
I mean, granted, you don't get a whole lot of comic relief outside of the Crucible because, like, if you don't think Shaxx is a whole experience in and of himself, I'm not certain I know how to have a conversation with you. But
I heard him say something I'd never heard before. So I think he said like he couldn't feel his toes.
dude, they keep on sneaking new voice lines in. But
He's
dude,
like,
my
that was so good, I can't feel my toes. It's like, what?
dude, like one of my favorite things he's ever said is just like, I was getting bounties from him. It's just like, what do you mean you can't concentrate when I'm yelling? Relax.
Yeah, but I'm super glad to be back. I'm super glad to be enjoying this game again with homies.
With the homies, which, by the way, if
all
you
right,
guys...
you are picking fights now, Shodian.
Guys, also, if you do happen to play, like, especially with crossplay being a thing now, like, if you're on PC, we can't go into Crucible with you.
Hold on, because that's the other thing, too. Destiny 2 announced a while ago that they were going to put crossplay in. And it was going to include consoles and PC. And I remember Tom and I looking at each other and being like, well, that's it. We can never play Destiny
we're
again.
Done. We knee-jerked so hard because we were like, oh, well, I'm not getting into a Crucible with anybody playing on a mouse and keyboard. That sounds terrible.
For anyone who doesn't understand, using a mouse and a keyboard in a shooting game is a distinct advantage. You can't argue with me on this. It has been proven. Piss off.
There's a lot of things in this world that are opinions, and this is not one of them. This is a stone cold fact. Mouse and keyboard in a first-person shooter over a controller is a ludicrous advantage.
Right. So we were like, we're never going to play again. Destiny, Bungie came out and said, okay, guys, crossplay is going live. You absolutely can play with your PC friends, your PlayStation, you can play with Xbox or Stadia, whatever. Here you have Bungie account names now. All the consoles will be all Crucible together, except we decided last minute that PC will stay in their own Crucible matchmaking pool. And if a console player joins a PC player or vice versa, you are immediately pulled into the PC matchmaking realm. Which means you can do strikes with your PC friends. You can do like just random fuck off missions.
You can do whatever you can do whatever the season event is, which by the way is a whole nother thing. The fact that once Destiny started doing seasons, there's like a big season activity, which is like where you go and do most of the content for that 4-month period, and they've all been really fun. I think the first one of those was the Menagerie, I want to say. At least that's the first one I remember doing a lot of, where it's like actually a 6-person with matchmaking activity that is usually broken up into go do this objective, go do this objective, go do this objective, kill the final boss, get your loot.
Yeah, but Menagerie was also open to everyone, unlike right now with the
Well, but that was also back when you had Destiny. You couldn't play Destiny without paying for it when Menagerie came out.
fair. But yeah, now the seasonal event is season pass holders only. The Astral Alignment is what it's called right now. Really fun, by the way, and it keeps changing.
Yeah, it's fun. It keeps changing. Like they've become so good at creating engaging content that doesn't get stale very quickly.
I will say a little mad about the season challenges that are like, hey, do all this Iron Banner shit when I don't have the light level to do Iron Banner shit right now.
I mean, well, you know, we talked about this. We'll be, by the time the next Iron Banner rolls around, we'll be good to go.
For sure. I'm almost, in fact, actually, I was playing Iron Banner last night, and I did okay. It wasn't awful, but like, I had to get my season objectives done.
Dude, I think the problem is with that is that we try to go in there as a stack, and like we're probably very rare in being a bunch of goons who are okay with all being severely underleveled, getting together and then trying to go into Iron Banner, because we're only going to run into other like 3 and 4 stacks, and nobody else is like, yeah, let's all be horribly underpowered for this. Let's go in before we can actually compete. So we're running into other stacks that are all 13-20. But again, temporary stuff.
Yeah, no, it's all looking super good. I think my biggest fear with Destiny is just the fact that it is just Destiny 2. You can upgrade it, you can increase its FPS, but it is a 4-year-old engine now, if not more. I can't remember when Destiny 2 came out, to be honest. I was already living here, so 4 years.
Yep, that would have been 2017, I want to say.
And, it's a 4-year-old engine.
19 Forsaken, 19.
I know they've gotten good about vaulting things and putting things in and out, but when does enough become enough? How long until you run into World of Warcraft problems? Granted,
I mean, I would... well, at the very least... we won't start running into problems for like 10 years, and then they won't get really bad for another 5.
Stop.
I'm sorry, you brought it up. I'm just
like having Silas go through the campaign. It's really hard to kind of follow even the New Light campaign when there's so much going on around you, and like seasonal things are trying to pull you in one direction, but you don't even have all your subclasses unlocked yet. I think the baby stepping new players in is probably an area where they could improve, if I'm being like super nitpicky again, which is tough for me to actually make the call on, because like I haven't experienced that. I'm not a new player. I didn't jump into this game after 4 years, but I do know that every time I come back after a season of being away for a while, I have a bunch of objectives, and I'm like, what am I doing? Because the game is just like, hey, you have all this stuff to do, and I don't know what's relevant. I usually have to look that up. Google.
But it would be nice to see some kind of... You know what, dude? This is such a piece of shit thing for me to be doing, because I'm also the guy who's like, hey, I know how to play a first-person shooter. I don't need a tutorial.
Yeah, I agree. But let's see. I believe it's almost. Yeah, we got 5 more minutes till we cut, but I really have to use the bathroom. So you want to cut early? Yeah.
We'll go ahead. We'll take our break. We're gonna be back immediately after that. Are we finally playing Stardew Valley tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have it.
Fantastic. All right, we're gonna
Should,
farm, and while we're farming, we're gonna talk about something pretty cool. First of all, the Soch meets, these right here. Interact with us. Rap with us. Let us know what you want to see, especially in terms of what we play on the back half. We're finally getting around to Stardew Valley, and stick around because guess what I just recently found out about? There's competitive Stardew Valley. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
$40,000 prize pool, which means Stardew Valley supports its competitive scene better than Nintendo. All right, we'll be back after the break.